Hello and welcome. If the start of a new season means that familiar tidal wave of sign-up sheets, a million emails, and just a little bit of panic about your child's schedule, well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to transform all that extracurricular chaos into some real clarity.
It's a feeling we all know, right? You're literally drowning in forms and the pressure is just immense. Are they doing enough? Are they doing the right things? Should they be a coding genius or a soccer star by age 8? It is completely and totally overwhelming.
Okay, so let's just take a deep breath. Here's the most powerful change we can possibly make. We have to stop playing calendar Tetris. The real goal here isn't just to be busy. It's to find activities that genuinely fit your unique child, and just as importantly, your family as a whole. Trust me, this shift in focus is a total game changer. And to get there, we've got a super clear, step-by-step roadmap. First, we'll unpack that feeling of overwhelm. Then, we'll define our guiding North Star. After that, we'll dive into our kids' unique profiles, do a quick family reality check, learn how to spot a good or bad environment, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a simple checklist to make those decisions with confidence.
So, first things first. Before you even look at a single website or brochure, we need to just pause. This is where we stop asking, what should we do? And we start with a much more powerful question. Why are we even doing this in the first place?
And that question leads us directly to our most important tool, finding our North Star. Now, this isn't some fuzzy, abstract idea. It's a really practical guide that's going to steer every single yes or no you make about activities for the rest of the year.
So what is it? Your North Star is simply a set of just three primary goals for your child for this specific year or season. See, we're not trying to plan out their entire life here. This is all about setting a clear intention for right now. And when you do that, it makes it so much easier to filter all the options and say no without a shred of guilt.
To figure out those goals, it helps to think across these 4 key areas. Are you focused on their body, getting them moving, working on coordination? Or is it about their brain, building focus or learning how to handle frustration? Maybe the goal is for their heart, things like building confidence or a sense of belonging. Or maybe it's about practical life skills, like being on time or learning to take feedback.
The process here is really simple. First, just jot down a few ideas in those 4 buckets. Then, and this is the hard part, force yourself to pick only 3. So, for example, maybe this year's goals are move her body, build her confidence, and make one good friend. That's it. That's your filter for everything. Okay, once we've got our North Star, the next step is to turn our attention to the most important person in this whole equation. Our kid, and this is so important. We need to look at who they are right now, not who we think they should be or who grandma thinks they should be.
Think about their social style. Does your child get energized by being around a ton of other people? Then yeah, team sports or theater could be an amazing fit. But what if they recharge with quiet time? Pushing them into a loud, chaotic team environment might just be a recipe for misery. Maybe something like swimming, art, or even martial arts, where they can watch and observe first, is a much better match.
And it goes way beyond just personality. Think about their sensory needs. Is your kid really sensitive to loud noises? Then a packed, echoing gym might actually be their personal nightmare. Do they do better with clear structure? An activity with a predictable routine, like martial arts, could feel incredibly calming for them. The key is just to observe. What kind of places drain their battery and what kind of places light them up?
Okay, we've got our goals. We've thought about our child's profile. Now it's time for the part we so often skip in all the excitement, the family reality check. Because let's be real, an activity doesn't just involve the child. It impacts the entire family system.
This chart, wow, it says it all, doesn't it? When you actually block out the non-negotiables, sleep, school, meals, homework, that little slice of time that's left for activities and just being a kid is shockingly small. It's a powerful reminder that we can't just squeeze things in. Every single commitment has a real cost, and it almost always comes out of that tiny sliver of free time.
So how do you know when you've gone too far? Well, these are the classic warning signs. If you find your family is constantly rushing, if you're yelling "we're late" every single day, if your child is getting more irritable or suddenly has mysterious tummy aches before practice, the schedule is probably too heavy. And that's not a failure. It's just data telling you it's time to pull back a little.
And this is such a powerful boundary to remember. If your family values Sunday dinners together, but a team demands travel every weekend, it's a mismatch. If you value respectful communication, but a coach motivates by yelling, it is a mismatch. I don't care how prestigious the program is, if it compromises your family's well-being, it's not the right fit.
And that whole idea of a program's culture is so critical. Because look, you're not just signing up for soccer lessons or piano lessons, you are choosing an environment, a culture, and a group of adult role models for your child. And honestly, the coach and the culture often matter way more than the specific activity itself.
So when you do a trial class, put on your detective hat. Be an observer. You're looking for these green flags. Does the coach actually try to learn the kids' names? How do they correct mistakes? Is it a positive, hey, try it this way, or a negative, that's not how you do it? And look around. Are kids of all different skill levels treated with respect? These are all signs of a really healthy program.
On the other hand, these are your immediate signs to just turn around and walk away. Any adult yelling at or shaming kids is an absolute hard no. If you see kids crying and being told to toughen up, or if the entire focus is on winning above everything else, that is not a healthy place for your child to be. Trust your gut on this one and just leave.
All right, we have done all the important prep work. We know our goals, we know our kid, and we know our family's limits. Now, let's bring it all together with one final checklist to make that decision with total confidence.
So let's run through it. Number 1. Does it hit one of our 3 North Star goals? Simple yes or no. 2. Does it fit our kid's profile? 3. Is the environment safe? 4. Can our family actually handle the logistics without secretly starting to resent it? Be honest. 5. Does the culture line up with our values? 6. Is our child at least a little bit curious about it? And finally, and this one's a lifesaver, is there an out? A trial period or a clear end date protects you from getting locked into something that's just not working.
And before you sign on the dotted line, ask yourself this last crucial question, because every yes is a no to something else. Saying yes to travel soccer every weekend might mean saying no to lazy Sunday mornings. Saying yes to late-night practices means saying no to family dinners. Just be really clear and honest about what the trade-off is.
As we start to wrap up, I just want to leave you with this. The whole point of all of this, it's not to engineer the perfect childhood or build the world's most impressive college resume. The real goal is to give our kids chances to learn about themselves and the world around them. And this, right here, is the message we really want our kids to absorb. Deciding something isn't for you, or quitting something that's a bad fit, that's not failure. It's a success. It means you successfully gathered information about your own interests and your own limits. And what an incredible life skill that is.
So I'm going to leave you with this final question to think about. Instead of asking, what should my kid achieve this season? What if we asked, what's one piece of information my child can gather about themselves? Maybe they'll learn they absolutely love being on a team. Or maybe they'll learn they really don't. Either way, they've learned something true about who they are. And that, my friends, is always a win.